Hello, and today I want to answer the question, did HBO fix Joel's death? And personally, I believe yes and no. There are some things which are better than the source material, and there are whole new issues which the source material did not have. So let's talk about this. And with Joel's death at the end of episode 2, one thing that I think really did work was how they got Joel to that scene. I think the game just kind of rushed it, and the game was all about shock value. That was the whole thing. It was meant to be over the top and shock value, and that did put a lot of fans off and really did make a lot of fans hate the game. And I'm one of the fans who understand how he needs to die, but I don't like how it happened. And I do think the show is a bit more tasteful. There's a big battle at Jackson, and Joel stuck on the outside, so he can't just go back. And Abby's promising that her people will help Joel fight in the battle, and that's where Joel's mindset is. And it really does help explain the situation Joel gets in, even down to the little things like how Abby finds out who Joel is from Dina shouting, "Joel, what are we going to do?" when she's clearly panicking. This all really does work. However, the issues with the death is the overcorrection that they did. I know some people are mad that there was no big shocker with Joel's death. It was very obvious from episode 1, scene 1, but I thought that was done well. However, the actual scene itself is all grinded to a halt because Abby needs to have a whole villain monologue while Joel sits there like a melon and never explains himself. This massive overcorrection is just poor writing. It is tell not show, and when we need a writer to do a show not tell. What I think they should have done is either give Abby an entire half of the episode in episode 1, or if that was too much, how about at the start of episode 2 we did see that scene where Abby was walking towards, but it was a hallucination or a dream. Why not just have it be a flashback and have Abby walk towards the room, open the door, and see her dad on the floor and have her cry out for her dad, so we understand, oh, Joel's killed her dad, and that connects back to episode 1, why Abby wants to kill. Then we do not need the whole, this is why I'm going to kill you, Joel, because you're a savage and you hurt people and stuff like this. And there's no scene where Joel is looking like a melon. You get rid of the melon scene, basically, and the death would flow better and work better. And I definitely think they just overcorrected with the Abby aspect way too much, and I feel it does slightly ruin the scene. However, another big win that I do think helps fix the death is they make all the characters a bit more sympathetic. It's not like in the game where they beat up Tommy, they beat up Ellie, and I think they might also beat up Dina. I haven't played the game in 5 years, so I don't remember exactly. But in the show, all the characters only want to hurt Joel, and they feel bad when they have Dina as collateral and they're having to put her to sleep. The only aggressive one in this entire scene is Abby, and she's the only one who wants to hurt Joel. By the end, it's clear everyone just wants to get it over with and go home, and this real humanization of the characters is gonna really do a lot to help the rest of The Last of Us, I think. The biggest issues with the game is how inhuman all of Abby's group seemed at the start of the game, and how brutal Joel's death was. And the show corrected that. All the characters seem to have a conscience. They're just there to get revenge on Joel. They do not want to hurt anyone else. And even when they're outnumbered, they just want to go home because they don't want to hurt themselves. And then they tone down Joel's death. He's been hit in the leg with a club. The next time we see him, Abby's punching him his head in. So we don't see his brain spilled out across the floor like in the game. And his death is quick. It is stabbed in the neck. It is just that one issue I have with the overcourse correction with the characterization of Abby and the complete stalling of the scene just so Abby could then spew out everything so that the audience can know, okay, she's doing this because of this. It is terrible writing at that one specific moment. It doesn't help that Joel looks like an absolute melon. Abby is talking to him for ages and he just kind of sits there. Why does he never go, oh, I killed your dad because he was gonna kill a little girl himself? He was there to save Ellie. He never mentions that he was trying to save somebody, and he just lets Abby just get along with it. It's really poor writing. And it's one thing that maybe the game did better, because the game just had Joel said, okay, just get it over and done with, and he's not sitting there like a melon. Joel's never a melon and never passive in his own death like he is in the show. And for me personally, I think this is an improvement. I think Joel's death is mostly fixed. I still have issues, but they are now completely different issues than the original game. I was really angry at the game. I thought it was way too gory, and I just think it was very poorly done. This death in the show is way better executed. However, there's that one thing which I mentioned with Abby's, and what I personally would do if I was writing Joel's death, and if I couldn't give an entire episode to Abby as episode 1 and have Joel's death in episode 3, I would have the flashback at the start of episode 2 with Abby walking towards the hospital door, opening the door, and we see Abby's dad dead on the floor and have her scream out to her dad, and then have Owen eventually come in and drag her away. I think that would be way more impactful than Abby being like, you killed my dad and you didn't look him in the eye. Have her see it actually happen. Have her maybe see the nurses panicked in the corner so we can see these are the lives that Joel ruined, and it connects back to episode 1, so we know why she said all those things, and it means that in the death, the scene's not going to be paused for her to do a massive monologue, and you're not going to have Joel be a melon. If there is some sort of discussion between the two, have Joel talk about why he did it, and try to explain himself, but this will all lead to Abby getting angry at Joel because he's slandering her dad, and that would lead to then Abby then whipping out the golf club and killing Joel. I think that would have improved upon it. It's just that one scene because the HBO writers are like, oh, the audience are dumb, they won't understand, so Abby has to spell it out. You could have showed us, not told us. And in my opinion, with that one change, that would have fixed the death 100%. In its current state, it is still a massive improvement and it is mostly fixed. It just has one flaw, which I have now. Unlike the original material, which I hate everything about how the death happens, what happens with it. I just don't like the death. But in the show, it is done mostly well. It's just that one thing. So this is my thoughts and opinions, so please tell me down below. What did you think about Death? Did you like it? Did you dislike it? Are there any other things you would change? Or you like me, just maybe have Abby's monologue removed and we find out through flashbacks before the episode or during the episode? I'll let you know your thoughts down below. So goodbye, peace out, and I'll talk to you later.